Hey my lovelies, welcome back to my channel, and on this wet, windy, horrible spring day I have got a very spring floral design for you using the gems colour of the week and a touch of the glitter of the week. So to see how I've created this set, please keep watching. So I'm working on Miss Ebony, my Elena hand, and from the Gems acrylic range in this set I'm going to be using the crystal clear acrylic, and I'm also going to be using Angel White, both part of the core acrylic range. Then the colour of the week, the beautiful Flora. I introduced the gel polish earlier in the week, and here we have the acrylic. And from the glitter of the week Festival Glitter Collection, I've got the beautiful white iridescent stars Tomorrowland, and I have dived into my dried flower drawer and I've picked out these sort of like hydrangea petals and some of the little petal flowers, and I shall be using those. And this set is a slight recreation on a design I did a couple of years ago. So I've just done my thin clear base and then I will get into the actual design. The index finger and the pinky are going to match, as are the middle and the ring finger. So starting on the index finger, I'm applying Flora. Just how stunning is this yellow? She is one of my absolute favourite acrylics. She is perfect. I'm applying this, painting it on from the cuticle, and then I'm just fading it down the nail. I want to take it just past that base nail free edge, just feathering it out and doing it on a little bit of a jaunty angle, because on a wet and rainy day we need something a little bit jaunty. I want to keep the tip clear. I'm going to be adding the glitters and the little flower petals there, but I wanted a bit of a clear tip. On the middle finger and also the ring finger, I'm going to do a ombre between Flora and Angel White. So I'm starting with Flora and I'm applying that at the tip. So I applied the first bead roughly where I want the blend back to go, sort of where the base nail free edge is. Flip the brush so I could blend it back, and then just pulling and painting the rest of the product down to the tip. Again, I am painting this on because we're going to be adding flowers and glitter on top, and for that reason this blend didn't have to be perfect. I know, I say it all the time, but I was going to be covering most of the blend, so I didn't need to worry about it too much. At least that is what I tell myself when I do those sort of designs, because we all know I cannot resist. And then I'm doing the same on the ring finger. So I placed the bead, I just pulled and painted it down and then flipped the brush so I can blend it back towards the cuticle. This just means I don't have any bulk when I add the next bead, and I can sort of blend it in really nicely without having sort of a fat bit in the middle of the nail where I've not really blended it back and it's just sort of stopped in a line. We don't want that, so we blend it back. That's why we do that with any sort of ombres. Blend it so we've got a nice smooth nail and transition between the colours, and no fat bits that will end up filing away. Once I was happy with that, I am going to do the pinky exactly the same as I did the index finger, just tidying up that free edge, keeping it nice and thin, because I need to use clear acrylic to apply the flowers and the glitters. So the initial layers of colour, so with the Flora and also when I add Angel White, we want to keep this super thin, painting it on. And I know, again, I say it all the time, but Gems is super pigmented, so you really can paint this on and get full coverage without adding any bulk. It's just occurred to me that I said I blend it back at that ombre because we don't want any fat bits. There's nothing wrong with any fat bits, just not in the nail, because if that bit where that blend is slightly thicker, you're going to file into it, and you're going to end up with an uneven nail. You could then file it into the design. So I probably should have used a different word. Apologies, I didn't mean to offend anyone, but we didn't want any added thickness there. We wanted it nice and flat throughout. And now I'm going in with Angel White at the cuticle, and then I'm just blending that into that initial bead. Now, I said I didn't need my blends to be perfect because they're being covered. They weren't bad blends, really. I was just adding a little bit more at the cuticle because I'd sort of pulled the product away as I was blending down and left a little bit of a line, which I didn't want. And then exactly the same on the ring finger. Just sort of feathering that ombre with the very tip of the brush and just adding a little bit more and where I felt it was a bit patchy, and then painting it down. So again, this original layer of colour is super thin. So I'm just lining up which flower I want to put where. This was a box I think I got from Amazon ages and ages ago. All the flowers are either Amazon, eBay or wherever. You can get these dried flowers for nail art anywhere. There's lots of different designs. I love these sort of hydrangea petal flowers. So I've gone in with my little bit of clear acrylic. It's slightly more than a wash because I need a little bit more thickness. Place the flower where I want it, and then I've gone in with my little bit of plastic, wrapped it round over the nail, and then held it tight underneath just to stick that nail flat to the nail. That flower, sorry, flat to the nail. I trimmed away a little bit where there was overlapping, then I went back in, held it down. Once I was happy and that flower was fully stuck, I've taken my little yellow flower head and I've cut all the little petals off. So I've got a little pile of petals, and then I'm just individually picking them up, placing them into the wet acrylic, just going in with a little wash more if I need it, and just laying them into it. And I've tipped out some of those Tomorrowland flowers, and I'm just individually picking them up and placing them around the petals too. So the same on the ring finger. I've sort of placed them differently. So little blob of acrylic that I've sort of blended down and pulled out so that that flower is completely stuck down to acrylic. Use that bit of plastic so that I can hold and put that flower flat to the nail without me touching any product. Don't worry about the little bits of overhang because we'll trim those away. And then if I need a little bit more wet acrylic, I've just washed on the tiniest amount, and then I'm just picking up my little petals and my stars and adding them onto the nail. Little petal there was sticking up, so wash of acrylic underneath and then just back in with the plastic to hold it down. And then as you can see, they're very small thin washes of clear acrylic, and I'm adding just some glitter stars and some of those little petals around the flower. Not too much, I don't want to fully cover, I just want a few. Now on the index finger and the pinky, I'm going to do some stars down where that colour blends out. So we're covering up any colour that looks a little bit I couldn't think of a word there. Just taking them up a little bit, and then I'm starting to pull them down the nail. I don't want full coverage, I want a few gaps, I just want a few stars scattered around. The acrylic was starting to set, so just gone in with a teeny tiny wash more. Pulling those stars, I can just pick them up individually with my brush to place them, and then I'm going to start placing a few of the petals in and amongst those stars. When I'm happy with that nail, exactly the same on the pinky. Now what I didn't say at the start is I think I used the Gems stiletto tips for this design. Trimmed off the very tip, and then I've really pinched them to give them a much slender look to the tip. I'm pretty sure that's what I used. You could get the same with the coffin tips as well. So now I've done the design, it's all laid down. Need to encapsulate in clear acrylic. This is where I'll build up the structure of the nail, make sure I've got the apex, make sure all of the colours, the glitter, the flowers, it's all fully encapsulated in clear acrylic, so that I don't file the design away. Then when the encapsulation is all done, I'm going to file the nails, and here they are, freshly filed, ready for those finishing touches. So give them a good wipe over with a lint-free wipe and some cleanser or sanitizer or whatever you want to use, just to get rid of any little dust or fluff that we don't want in the finished nail. And then we are going to go in with Miss Tina Top to finish this design off, to wake up those nails, bring them back to life and show the true depth and colours to this design. And now you could go in with some crystals if you wanted to. There's definitely places on this design where crystals could be added, but I wanted the colour and those star glitters and the flowers to be the main focus of the nail, so I felt I didn't really need any additional crystals. So I'm just going over top of all of these nails, applying a nice layer of Tina Top, making sure the nails are fully covered so we can really appreciate everything that's gone into this design. And then I'm going to pop them in the lamp to cure for 60 seconds, and this spring floral design on a rainy day is complete. And here they all are out of the lamp, fully cured and finished. Obviously, if this was an actual human person, let that top coat cool down and then go in with your cuticle oil and the design would be done. But Miss Ebony does not need any cuticle oil, so we are finished. As I said, this design is a recreation of, well, actually a couple of designs I did a couple of summers ago. I knew I wanted to do some florals with the beautiful Flora. I mean, her name calls for it. And I wasn't feeling very inspired, as I said in one of my videos earlier in the week. I've not been feeling that great this week, so my mind doesn't really work as well. So I couldn't think of any designs, and then one of those came up on my memories, and I thought, do you know what? I can tweak that a little bit and do something similar with the beautiful Flora. I think she is a gorgeous colour. She is a must-have for spring and also going into summer. And I loved how this design turned out. But really, it's not my opinion that matters, it's yours. So please give this video a thumbs up and leave me any comments down below. I'd like to take this opportunity to give a massive thank you to one of my subscribers, to Jacqueline. She comments on every single one of my videos, and it means the world to me that she watches and comments. So thank you so much thank you so much, Jacqueline. I'd love to hear from some more of you, so please leave me any comments down below. And if you're not yet a subscriber, please click that subscribe button. Make sure you check out the description box because I'll pop the product details and the links in there. But that is it from me for this video. I have got one more coming on Sunday using this week's glitter of the week, so check back then. But for me today, enjoy the rest of your Friday, have a fabulous weekend, and I'll see you on Sunday. Bye! Mwah.